It's a strange, strange world we live in.
Okay, our sports department, of course, is Jim Scalem, and he's here. He brought a baseball with a personally signed autograph. It says Bud Harrelson, New York Mets. It also says official Little League Baseball. What does that mean?
That's where the story lies.
All right.
You know, every year our newspapers carry the fresh young faces of all-star high school athletes who never reappear in the annals of sports. But once in a while, these choices foreshadow greatness. Now, in 1962, a 17-year-old young man named Darrell McKinley Harrelson was named East Bay Prep of the Year over athletes from 52 other high schools. Nicknamed Bud, he captained Hayward Sunset High School's football, basketball, and baseball teams in his senior year. After a semester at San Francisco State on a basketball scholarship, Bud signed a professional baseball contract with the infant New York Mets. For 4 years, he traveled the minor league circuit from Salinas to Buffalo to Jacksonville, Florida. Finally, in 1967, Bud hit the big town and became the Mets' regular shortstop. His great glove ability solidified the Mets' middle and was one of the prime factors leading to the Mets' miracle 1969 season, culminating in their 5-game wipeout of the Baltimore Orioles in the World Series. Now, while some of his teammates are spending their winter on Las Vegas stages, Bud Harrelson came back to his boyhood home of Hayward, California, where yesterday he was honored with a day of activities befitting a hero. The afternoon was spent in his Mets uniform, traveling around town in a motorcade with stops at places like Skaggs Sporting Goods Department to meet the children of Hayward and give away autographed baseballs.
It was a fantastic year, as we all know, and I think basically why the Mets were so successful, we were a young team, we grew together. This was the second year that we'd played with each other, and I think last year we kind of got to know Gil as Gil got to know us, and we got to know each other. We knew what we could do, and we just went out and did it. We could concentrate on beating the other team rather than trying to beat ourselves. As you know, the Mets have no superstars. We're all individuals. We're 25 men that have their jobs, and we went out and acted accordingly, and just each day somebody tried to do their job, and some days you did and some days you didn't do it, and it seemed that we did it more often than we didn't. I think the only thing we can do that would be better than this year is to win the World Series in 4 games instead of 5.
Later, Bud changed clothes and came to the Southland Shopping Center to greet relatives and old friends at a cocktail party and testimonial dinner.
Bud has always played at his best, whether he was a little leaguer or a major leaguer. He used to come home from a practice game with his pants torn and dirty, and I would say, Bud, do you have to get so dirty? Do you have to tear your pants up? And he would say, Mother, you got to play your best at all times.
I live in Long Island. It used to be Long Island, and now it's Long Island because I've lived there a few years now. I enjoy it. I think I enjoy the financial aspect of New York rather than the weather. I'm a Hayward boy. My heart is here. The weather is great here. I'm used to this weather, but to get ahead in life, I think you have to get ahead financially, and I'm trying to do that in New York, and when I do, I'll come back to Hayward.
Harrelson and she and everybody else went on into the community room and dined on a feast of roast prime ribs, scalloped potatoes, green peas, fruit punch, and an ice cream cake with a Christmas tree center.
If it weren't for the next two, why Bud wouldn't even be here. I'd like to introduce the very charming couple, Mr. and Mrs. Glenn Harrelson.
And I said from the very day he was born, he was going to be something. I felt it. I just felt it. And so when we moved to Hayward, he was 9, went into Little League, and then his dream was to be a major league ball player, but he was so tiny that none of us did know for sure if he really would make it. But he had the ability plus the stick ability.
And it gives me great pleasure tonight, a great privilege for me to present to you Bud Harrelson of Hayward.
I don't know how many people remember Bud Harrelson in his Little League days, the days when I was referred to as Buddo, a small boy, one who cried when he struck out, and now I'm a member of the world champion New York Mets, a team that was 100-to-1 odds to even win the division. We went on to win the pennant as well as the World Series. Things have changed, as things do change. But Bud Harrelson has not changed. I'm still small, and I still cry when I strike out.
I guess I would cry if I struck out too, but we all enjoyed our dinner, and we want to mention that the Hayward people were very nice to us, and us is Amiko Amori, who is the filmmaker, assisted by Rick Tejeda Flores and Dorothy Littlejohn. Our sound man was Peter Hobie, and we were all assisted by ace Cub reporter Henry Mad Dog Kroll, and I'm going to take this baseball home and put it on my mantle.